me all right? My wife says I'm quite loud, so I don't think it'll be much of a problem today. When I was thinking about what I wanted to say today about Grandpa, what came to mind was the idea of legacy. What kind of legacy Grandpa left us. Billy Graham once said, the greatest legacy one can pass on to one's children and one's grandchildren is not money or other material things accumulated in one's life, but rather a legacy of character and faith. So, what defines my grandpa's character? Honesty. He was obviously the most honest person I ever knew, straight shooter. Very loving, very generous, faithful, altruistic. My grandpa was quiet at times, but surprisingly expressive at others. He was a perfect balance of an introvert and an extrovert. He was very social. He had many great lifelong friends, but what made Grandpa special was the fact that he kept these friends for so long. It can be pretty easy in life to make friends, but to keep the amount of lifelong relationships that he had intact is amazing. Grandpa was an intense listener. I think I would talk to him for 5-10 minutes on end. I could ramble a lot. And at times I would wonder if he was falling asleep or if he was going to say something, but he understood those times when people just need a listener. And he was just so great at that. But in summary, my grandpa's legacy, like all great legacies, to me was intangible. It was transcended, something that could not be given away. It was something that is passed down in what he said, how he acted, and how he treated others. The legacy that my grandpa left is something that I will always be thankful for, and one that I have realized has come to define parts of my personality. And I will carry him with me my entire life because of that. So I'll switch gears here and read a little something that Adam wrote. He wishes like heck that he could be here right now, but he's off serving a greater purpose for our country right now. So these are Adam's words to Grandpa. There are times in our lives that we reflect on things we wish we could have done differently, whether it was picking a different job, spending more time with someone, or making another decision about something. For me, I wish I would have spent more time with my grandfather. Since his passing, I've been kicking myself with the pain of wanting to see him again, to call him again, to see him at my wedding someday. But then I think of all the amazing times I had with him and all the great childhood memories he blessed me with. He was such a great man. He was always there for anyone and would never judge no matter the circumstance. Grandpa was such a generous and caring man. I never once saw him in a bad mood. He was always in a great mood, no matter how bad his health was. He had a light to him that shined on all of us. I'll miss the little times, whether it was timing him how long it took him to eat his dinner. It took him a while. He enjoyed everybody. Or whether it was just picking him up just to spend time with him. I remember when we were kids, Jake and I would love going to his house. We loved to play with cowboy and Indians figurines and the lopsided pool table downstairs. That really did nothing for my pool game growing up. Of course, one of the best things about Grandpa's house was the pool and the playground across the street. I remember the times we would ride in his S10 pickup and Grandpa would let Jake and me shift the manual transmission. And Grandpa was a man of conviction. If he let you shift, you were going to shift. We'd stall out in an intersection. We'd go down a highway out of gear. If you were going to shift, you better put that truck in gear no matter what. He wasn't going to touch it. I felt very close to him, and I know that we all did. Grandpa set such an amazing example of sacrificial love for his children. And I feel very blessed for getting the chance to know the man that raised my father. It's hard for me to be gone while you are all here, not just to see his passing, but to celebrate his arrival home to the Lord. I know he's looking down and seeing his golf ball iron and saying, well, would you look at that? I want to thank everyone for comforting my grandpa while he was in his last days, and for everything you've all done for him in his life. He knew how much we all loved him. I remember talking to him on the phone one time a while back, and before we hung up, I said, I love you, Gramps, which I always thought made him slightly uncomfortable. But then Adam says, I could hear him start to tear up when he said, I love you in return and to take care. The love our family shares will never be broken because of the strength we have together through Jesus. I pray that we all look to him for comfort and healing during this time. Grandpa, you will be missed but never forgotten. Those are Ad's words, and with that, I'll hand it off to my favorite cousin on this side, at least, Blaine.